So, like I said, we were best friends. I remember this one particular time. This probably was just maybe about 16, 17. Very, I want to say, probably almost about 10 years ago was the first time me and my sister had our first falling out, the bully, right? She lets her kids come to my house for the weekend, and I haven't talked to you about my mother, but my mother is very manipulative, right? I mean, my mother's done some crazy things. I remember one time my mother actually had, it's not funny, it's actually really sad. One of my sisters, she signed her kids up on food stamps and was getting cash assistance for her kids in California, and they were garnishing my sister's checks. My mother has stolen $5,000 from the bully, and even when I was younger, my mother used to make me steal from the foster home lady to support her habit. So this is the type of mother that we have. She's she's something else. Just put it like that. She's a different type of breed, right? And not to say, not for 1 second, I don't want anyone to think that, oh my gosh, she's badgering her family or she's putting their business out. This is my business. This is my life. And if you're offended by it, then that's not my then if you're offended by it, then it's meant for you. If you're not offended by it, then it's not meant for you. And like I said, this is my story and this is my life, and this is me telling my life in a nutshell and in the story, and that people are a part of my life, and what do you want me to do about that? I'm gonna tell it, so whatever. And so this is just the type of mother that I've had. This is the type of mother that I always had. My mother used to make us steal. I mean, I learned how to steal from my mother. That's probably one of the things she taught me, is learn. She taught me how to steal, be a hustler, and how to take care of a nigga, not a man, but a nigga. It's the only three things my mother ever taught me, right? And that's the God honest truth. I never learned anything else from her, ever. And I mean, the hustler, the hustling, I'm definitely a go getter. I will go out here and get it by any means necessary. Trust me when I say that, because that's just how she was, right? Like, once she got clean, it was all good, but she got clean just to go do other things, to be steal people's identity, like whatever she did. Trust me, that's a different story too. So, so this particular time, the first time that I had a falling out with the bully, she brought her children to my house, and the thing is that, you see, I'm one of those sisters that I show up. If I say I'm gonna come, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna support my family. Me and my children would go back and forth to California to see her, to visit her, to show up for birthday parties. Not once did she ever come to see me or my children, or visit us, or come to a birthday party, or not once. And I'm being 100% honest. Not once. This is where the bullying starts, and it's a very like give and take relationship. But when you're constantly giving, and you're not getting anything in return, but at the same time, this is where the manipulation comes in, right? I allowed her over the course of years to say mean things to me, to talk negative to me, to badger me or belittle me, because I was under the impression that was love, right? Well, if people don't talk to you crazy, and people don't treat you a certain way, no, you don't love me. You're not talking to me crazy, then you don't love me. That was my mindset, that was my mentality. So it was always kind of this manipulation, that she's always had this hold over me and this little control. And then at the same time, with me also having abandonment issues, it's like, oh my gosh, if I don't have her, I don't have anyone. Like, that was my concept. That was the type of relationship that we had. And it was like almost sickening in a way, but it's like, when you have, when that's all you have, that's all you have. That's all you know. And when that's all you have, that's all you know. And it was like, okay, if I fall out with my sister, or if I fall out with the bully, who do I have? I have no one. What am I gonna do? Who am I gonna talk to? Well, oh my gosh. That's the type of hold that she was my mother. I called her my mother. Like literally, she was my mother. That's what I called her. So the first time we had the falling out, she allowed her children to come for the weekend. I don't know if it was the weekend or it was for a week. It was we didn't have anything going on. But all the kids were there. My brother's kids came from California, and everyone was at my house. All the kids were at my house. So she sent her kids out here, and they had. So like I said, she sits on this pedestal. She's acts like she's so holier than thou, and it's like coming from where you came from, honey. I don't understand what she got like that. I can tell you how she got like that because of the foster daughters, my foster mother's daughters. She always wanted to be like them. We called them the Williams sisters, right? And over time, she has became like them. See, the thing that you're fearful the most of is what you actually become, right? She wanted to be one of them so bad that she has actually became one of them, right? As if she's so superior, she's on this pedestal, she looks down on us, she's got a job, she's got her own place. Yeah, honey, good, that's fine. Do that, that's great. So this one particular weekend, and she sent her kids out there with some money. The grandma takes the money and blames it on me and my kids. This is real life stuff that I'm giving you. This is the real life stuff that I'm giving you, right? So that's what happened. They all went out somewhere and they spent a little bit of the money. They came back and the kids went to bed and the kids woke up the next morning and the money was gone. I knew who took the money. We all. Girl, God. So, she is cussing. She's cussing mom out, right? I mean, she's cussing her out. You can hear her cussing her bad, so bad, that I was in the living room and I went to the back room because I thought the TV was on. And I said, hey, that's extremely loud. Turn that down. She's on the phone. And I mean, she's screaming and yelling and she is being very belligerent. So I'm like, at this time, I don't know what the heck's going on. Like, the kids have been here. I've been feeding the kids. We've been going out to we've been hanging out with the kids. So at this time, like I said, it was morning. Everybody was still asleep. And I'm like, what is going on? So I asked my mom, and I'm like, well, what is wrong with her? Like, what is she going off like this for? Like, what is the problem? Like, and it's like, I'm gonna be honest. I've heard her go off, but when you're having a conversation and you're mad or she going off about her baby daddy or I'm going off of that's the type of conversation we've had. So, excuse me. But the way she was cussing mom out, I'm like at this time, me and my mom, we had a semi-cool relationship. She drove out to California to pick the kids up and came back. She does a lot, but will do a lot also. And what I mean by that, in order to give something, you got to get something from her. You know what I'm saying? In order to, I'll have to call you back. And that's just how she is. That's just the type of person that she is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You're not going to she's not going to do something for you. You're not going to do something for her in return. That's just who she is. That's just the type of person she is. So I decide to call the bully, and I go outside, and I'm sitting in my car, and I'm like, what is going on? I said, I can hear you screaming at the top of your, what is going on? Oh, you MFs ain't nothing. Y'all stole my kids' money, and you dirty little B, and you live in an effing trap house, and you got my kids sleeping on the effing floor, and then she's perceived. Like I said, I've never had a falling out with her, like, ever in my life. She has never spoken to me like this, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, I was shocked. Then she proceeds to say, B, don't you ever call me until you lose 100 pounds. That'll never happen, honey. And when I tell you, oh, I was devastated. Oh, I was broken. I was so heartbroken because now what kicks in? Oh my gosh, I have nobody. I have nobody. I have no support team. Like, she was my only support team. She was my mother. Like, I looked at her like that. She was my mother. She was my best friend. She was my supporter. She was my confidant. You know, she was everything. You know, she was my therapist. Like, she was everything that I didn't have. And so that was the first time that we fell out, and it was like, and it broke me, and it took me back to almost that little girl state when she had to leave foster home. Like, that was the first heartbreak, right? So then when that happened, I mean, oh, I was down. I was bad. I'm not even gonna lie. I was so heartbroken. Like, I was extremely heartbroken because now it's like, okay, now I have to maneuver through this world by myself. Like, by myself. And I'm heartbroken. So, boom, 5 or 6 years goes by. Never spoke. We never spoke after that. After she said what she said, I never spoke to her again for about 5 or 6 years. That is the honest truth. Never spoke to her again after that. Because I was just too heartbroken. And then I was just like, just to know that someone that you love has been having these feelings about you. Oh, you've been hating since day one, honey. And it's like the fact that, I mean, she went in on me. Like, she is one of those people that will cut you, will chop your head off with words. Like, for real, for real. Like, she is just one of those, that's where the bully comes in. She's a bully. A big, big bully, pretty much. So like I said, 5, 6 years goes by, don't talk to her. I mean, I hadn't talked to, didn't go back to California. I mean, I went back and forth to California, but it wasn't for her. Like, don't invite me to no family gatherings. Like, I'm done. A person like me, when I say I'm done, oh, I'm done. There's nothing she could have ever said to me that would have made us be friends or be what we used to be. Nothing. So 6 years goes down, 5, 6 years goes past. I don't talk to her. I haven't spoken to her. I end up moving out of Arizona, and I end up moving to Dallas. And I was in Dallas for about a year, maybe. One of my other sister calls me and says, hey, the bully's on her way out there. And I said, well, you know, what are you telling me for? I don't talk to her. I haven't talked to her in about 5 or 6 years. So, like, what do you want me to do? Like, when I tell you I haven't spoken with her, I don't know how she got my number. I don't know how she got my address. But she calls and says, I'm downstairs. I'm sorry, what? Who is this? Who gave you my number? Who gave you my address? That's what I'm saying. People don't understand boundaries. You just out here willy-nilly giving away people my phone number and my address, and it's like, people just don't understand boundaries. And so at this time, like, it's been like almost 6 years, I have not spoken to her. We're not friends on any social medias, not a letter, not a text, not an email, and she just pops up at my house. So, you know, me being the person that I am, I don't even know why she was out there, you know? And so I'm like so skeptical to even have her know where I live or even come to my house, because it's like, we're not even like that. Like, what are you doing here? Like, what do you want? Like, why are you here, right? So, but me being the loving person that I am, you know, I let her come in, and I'm just like very guarded. Like, I'm not even really talking to her, having a conversation. So But at the same time, I'm still trying to see what's going on. So I'm like, oh hey, what's up? Like, what are you doing here? Like, I didn't know you were coming out here. Like, I'm not too sure why you're even out here. Like, and it was very weird. And she's like, you know, she's a drinker. Like, she pulls out like 4 bottles of wine, and I'm like, honey, it's like 10 o'clock, like at night. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and drink all this wine with you. Like, what are you doing here? Like, what? So I'm like, oh, do you have a hotel? Like, oh, I don't check into my hotel until the morning. I'm like, okay, you can sleep right here on this couch. I'm going to bed. And I promise you that was it. So she gets up, well, I'm gonna go check into the hotel and do that. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, she came out for I don't know, one of her hairdressers in LA had a party, and she decided to, I don't know. It seemed like it was all BS to me. And so then it was like, after a while now, I'm in this new state. I don't have any family. I don't have any friends. And so she pulls me back in. I convert back to that little girl, that abandonment issue, that like, oh my gosh, I have my mother back. I have someone who loves me, who wants to be there for me, who wants to, rebuild this relationship. So boom, what do? I dive right back into being friends again. She stays, we hang out, we go out to dinner, we have a good time. 2 weeks later, I end up flying out there for an event that she had, and 2 weeks later she ended up flying back out. So we were like on this really good wave, and it was almost kind of like we almost picked up where we left off, when I thought it was like fantastic, right? Oh my gosh, I've got my sister back, we're the best of friends again, and it's now it's like, oh, I'm of age now, so like I'm a big girl now, we can hang out, and you know what I'm saying, do whatever we want. Like, I'm a drinking age. Like, it was what it was. Like, we really have a chance to hang out now. So that's just what it was, right?